Reason do you need to be sure? Tell me why I don't like Monday.
Meet man with the stick.
Hello to all you Doctor Who fans. I'm speaking to you from the set of The Two Doctors, and I just want to say I'm very sorry I can't be with you.
I'm going to lash you to within an inch of your life. And then I'm going to have you.
The nature of Monkey was irrepressible.
I'm going to rescue her. I'm going to save Rose Tyler from the middle of the Dalek fleet, and then I'm going to save the Earth, and then, just to finish off, I'm going to wipe every last stinking Dalek out of the sky!
But you have no weapons, no defenses, no plan!
Yeah. And doesn't that scare you to death? Rose?
Yes, Doctor?
I'm coming to get you.
Yes, indeed, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, indeed. Good evening, good morning. Hey, oh, my screen's a little bit off. 1 second. Up. There you go. Let's get the Star Trek thing in there. Yes, everything is right there. But go too far. You see some action figures. But no, we're not going too far. Well, we are probably going to go too far. That is my USP, baby. Going too far. I am known to do that. I hope you're all doing well wherever you are. It's freaking freezing here in Israel. Oh, my God. Not a fan. I understand it's cold in England too, right? Actually, what is the weather? What's the English weather? I'm going to compare it to the Israel weather, right? UK weather today. Let's have a look, see what comes up with that. Here are, where is it? It's 6, what's it? On Friday, or is this a prediction, or is this what? I don't know. What a temperature? I guess it's a temperature. It's saying it will have a high of 8, low of 3. So let's see what the Israel weather is today. Right? I'm just freezing my bollocks off. I mean, here's the thing. In England, the houses are designed to. Oh, it's significantly higher. What is it? It's in Fahrenheit. Let's change it to centigrade. It's still a little bit higher. Okay, we have a high of 16, low of 10. So we're doing better than you in England. I'm bitching my ass off. But yeah, okay, look, our houses are not built to retain heat. Okay, retain heat. They're built to like be cool because it's normally quite hot here, right? It's normally quite hot. But we're freezing. And I am freezing my bollocks off. Oh my God. I mean, we got the air conditioning and a heater in the bedroom right now. Oh my God, that heat. See, in England, this is what I miss about England, right? I miss that. I don't even know if you still have it. That the central heating, with the radiators against the wall, when you had to get that key to like let the air out, and the blue on it to catch the radiator jizz that came out. If you're from America, you have no idea what I'm talking about. Yeah, I'll find a picture. 1 second. British radiators. Let's have a look, see if I can find a picture of them. Yes! Oh, these things are so good. Right? These things are so freakishly good. Oh, they just make everything hot and warm and nice and yummy. I mean, a bit stuffy, but I think I'm okay with that. Right? Here, 1 second. Let me zoom in. So, look, if you're in England, and you still, they probably changed it for something like shittier that's like new now, right? But these were the best. Oh my God, these things freaking awesome in warming up your house. Oh my God, it was so good, right? It was so good. Them were the days, baby. Them were the days. That looks like quite a sleek one. I wonder, do they still have that like key thing you got to put in? Go, let we air out. Anyway, not a fan. And the heater we got in there, but it's like, it's a. It's like one on a cable, if you plug it in. The heater we put in our bedroom the other night, but it's this weird noise now. Like in the middle of the night, it's going dunk, 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 I'm like, ow! Middle of the night make me freaking crazy. No, okay. Here's what I do. I get my hot water bottle, right? Hot water bottles are everything. Hot water bottles are where it's at, babe. I get my hot water bottle. I've said this before. I place it in bed about 20 minutes, half hour before I'm retiring for the evening, right? Gets the bed nice and toasty. Oh, yes. I mean, you know, I think if Nicola Bryant wants to replace my hot water bottle, that's groovy, baby. I won't mind. I won't mind. Like Nicola Bryant and Millie Gibson, I got a big bed. Plenty of room for everyone. And Millie looks little. But like, that would warm up the bed. One second. Oh, hot coffee. Do I love thee? Mwah! Mwah! You're so good. And then get into bed, snuggle with the hot water. Also the having the dog come and lay on my face. She does that a lot, right? She does that a lot to say hello. She likes a morning snuggle and she likes an evening snuggle, right? When I'm just waking up, I'm just going to bed. That's what she enjoys, right? That's what I enjoy. I'll tell you what I enjoyed. Oh my gosh. I watched Godzilla -1 today, right? I saw a good copy. It's not out in Israel. And it's not even scheduled for coming out in Israel. When's the digital release date? Hang on a second, I'll look for this. Because this is what I do. Like, if a movie isn't out in Israel, or you know, I can't get it, right? Then I illegally download it, and then well, let's say it is out in Israel in the cinema. I don't want to go to cinema. Then I'll just buy a cinema ticket. Oh, so it's estimated for February 2024. Good. Freaking awesome, right? Be available on Amazon Video. Yeah, I'm totally buying this when this comes out. It is absolutely awesome. We're doing a full review of today. I thought it was weird that people say Godzilla doesn't really need to be in it. Yeah, kind of Godzilla needs to be in it, right? It's kind of like a pivotal thing. But boy, is that it? Just a wonderful character study of like all the characters. Like the character work on it was just absolutely excellent, right? I understand the director is doing a Star Wars movie. God, I hope not. I mean, who knows? Star Wars is an ongoing disaster, right? Star Wars is an ongoing just insanity. I mean, literally, there's a look that you got the Rey movie, what's it called again? The Jedi Order, the New Jedi Order, whatever they call it, and then you got the Favreau movie. Look, Favreau and Rey, you know, they are two separate factions in this Lucasfilm Civil War. And I guess it's they just can't stand losing money all the time. I mean, it does seem like there's a big push to change the CEO. They're like there's a hostile takeover going on the board right now. Go Nelson Peltz, right? Who's leading it, right? I think he's pushing for CEO. Maybe they'll bring in. I know Ike Perlmutter, who was in charge of Marvel for a long time, is backing Peltz. Maybe they'll have him be CEO, right? But yeah, you can expect. Well, can you though? You can expect that woke shit to be stopped ASAP. But can you though? I don't know, because what they do is, and this was Barack Obama's really great insight into how to have total control, right? What they do is they then seed their people everywhere, right? And everybody all has the same idea. So look, let me show you this thing a bit from the BBC. All right, it's Doink. Where is this video file? I'm on the wrong thing. 1 second. Downloads. Where is it? Oh, I'm on the wrong thing. There you go. I'll try that again. Okay, talk about that story. Fine. Yeah. This is it from Talk TV.
Of course, is Tom Slater from Spiked Online. Now, I don't think, Tom, either you or me are going to ever get a job at the BBC. I thought this for quite a long time. But BBC staff have now been told...
I mean, I agree with you, Julia. Yeah, you're probably not, but why, right? So not to hire those dismissive of diversity. So even if, like, you know, a new person comes in, right, and says, okay, we're going to close down all DEI, the entire everybody working there is infested with these morons. How? By doing things like this.
Not to hire people who are dismissive, outrageous, of diversity and inclusion policies. So I think that is me ruled out of a job reading the BBC 6 o'clock news. Joining me to discuss this is campaign director at Defund the BBC, Rebecca Ryan. Good morning to you.
Rebecca, more power to you. Defund the BBC. They are not fit for purpose. I 100% agree with you.
Morning, Julia.
I love these stories. I mean, this is what's so funny is the BBC is obsessed with diversity of everything except thought. Not keen on diversity of thought at all. We knew that over Brexit. We know that over, general politics in this country. But they are being told in a recruitment policy document, disclosed in the Telegraph today, applicants should be asked to explain what diversity and inclusion means to you.
It means to me you're full of shit and you're a racist, right? Diversity, inclusion, inclusivity is inherently sexist and racist, right? I think homophobic too, right? It treats minorities as if they're incapable of doing anything. Oh, poor little minority. Oh no, because there's less of you in England. That means you're less capable. Oh, and I can't stand this constant thing. Well, we need to have TV reflect the society. It doesn't reflect the society, right? There isn't 80% gay lesbians with penises running everything.
And should you be successful, what opportunities do you see for you to promote, celebrate and encourage diversity and inclusion in your role? And they are told in the guidelines, don't hire candidates who are unsuited to the organisation.
Exactly. You make the organisation. So first thing to do, fire most of the organisation, right? Get rid of most of them.
If they're dismissive or derisory of diversity.
Actually, you know what? That's not really needed, right? That's not really needed. What we need is some like royal edict. Okay, I'm not talking about Prince Charles, King Charles, right? I'm talking about like Messiah comes, right? And so you get an extra layer of government on top of everything else, a messianic level of government, and he makes a messianic royal decree, right? That you pick the ringleaders, like a handful of them, right? Or civil servants. Oh yes, let's civil servants and politicians. And here's what you do. Or maybe to George Soros, right? And Bill Gates, and you just freeze all their funds by royal decree. I freeze all their funds, right? And they don't have a penny left of them. You give them a bungalow to live in and like minimum wage to live off, and that's it, baby. And then you take the money that they've screwed out of like the common person and plow it back into society, right? But here's the thing. You get some of these civil servants that stop Brexit or the Brexit in name only, whatever, and then you take all their money away, right? Take all their money, all their property away, publicly flog them. And you know what? All the other cunts will fall in line really damn quick. That's exactly like this whole like, oh, how do we deal with these refugees? Blow up one of the boats, right? Blow up one of those dinghies full of military-aged men. Now, I'm not suggesting to do that. Thankfully, I don't have the about it. But like, actually, you know, my solution is this: round up a bunch of like end all benefits. There is no benefit whatsoever to non-citizens, right? And then you have to work that one out a little bit because you could have like mass death on your hands, but you get like a second-class citizenship thing where you're able to get like emergency medical care if you need it. But essentially make it take away the phones, take away the hotels, and then say, oh look, we got a DC-10 here, you can get on that and it'll take you to your new home. It'll be nice and warm, right? Take them, and I say drop them off in Somalia, in Iran, I don't know, actually no, Somalia, they can't do anything about it, or in Houthi, Yemen, right, with the Houthis. Just drop them off there, catch you later guys, and fly off. Right, and you know what? They'll stop coming. Right, they'll stop coming. Anyway, woke workers,
diversity and inclusion, and surrounding topics. So basically, you have to play along with the nonsense, or you won't get a job. Just not being sexist, not being homophobic, not being transphobic, not being racist. That's not.
No, none of that's good enough. None of that is. Have you not learned? None of that is in any way good enough, right? No. You got to tear down white masculinity, like white. What's it called again? The patriarchy, the white male patriarchy.
Not good enough. You have to say all the right words, or you can't be hired.
No, you got to think the right thoughts. But I'm telling you, you take an example of a bunch of them, and like a few, the rest of these little coward cunts will fall right in line.
Absolutely, this is just a test to see how how well these people have bought into the orthodoxy, isn't it? The potential employees there, and this is what we've seen is completely wrong with the BBC at a time when you've got people who are giving up their TV license in their droves because they don't want to pay for it. The BBC are heading, not only are they not trying to resolve this problem, they're actually doubling down on.
Well, you see, people do that until the last penny is gone. Right, until they have not one penny of other people's money to spend, they will just keep double, tripling. And you know why? I worked this out, right? I was leaving a message to, sending a voicemail to Dan. Because people are getting fucked off with that, right? In my comments in the chat. Because because Dan's getting a bit fucked off, right? Dan doesn't like the reactionary hatred of the current of all the aspects of current era. Now he liked it more than I did. He found it I'll say he found it less objectionable than I did. But look, his point is this, and I'm not sure. Listen, he can come on and explain himself just as well as I can. But I think his point is this: being reactionary is always an emotional thing, right? It's always an emotion, and I think that's where most people are. With shooting up was Doctor Who, right? We were kicked relentlessly in the bloody balls until he showed up, right? And then just so much more gay shit at the same time. We were just kicked relentlessly in the balls. We had Davros, we had Yasmin Finney and Starbeast, we had Mavity, we had the shittest Isaac Newton ever, right? Yeah, and we were all like, oh, Russell's gonna come and save us. Russell will save us. I said it. I believed it, right? And having said that, I still like the last half hour. Maybe I don't know. When did he show up in the church on Ruby Road? Here, 1 second. Let me do a check, right? It's the moment he was running over the over the roof. So I'm not gonna show the clip because BBC will lose their shit, right? They'll copyright. They'll block it like instantly. Oh man, they are very copyright blocking heavy right now. Come on, there we go. Doink. Let's have a look. Where is it? Church on Ruby Road. There we go. Doink. Is it opening up? Oh, got to get rid of sound. So it's 35 minutes long. Fired in about how far am I in? They're on the okay. The last 40 minutes of it, right? The last 40 minutes from when he's running over the roof. Man, Minnie Gibson's hot. Like they sort of put her in a burqa, but she still looks really good. Right. From the last 45 minutes, 35 minutes, I like. The last 35 minutes of the Church on Ruby Road, I found really genuinely enjoyable, right? Genuinely. Right. But I think people were just fucked off. We are beyond fucked off with Doctor Who at that time. For all the other shit that happened, I don't think people were in any way open to hear. In the same thing, most Israelis are not open to say, "Oh, would you like a ceasefire? Would you like a ceasefire?" No, fuck off. No, we wouldn't like a ceasefire. We would like Hamas to be crushed out of existence, right? We would like to send a message for all time. Don't fuck with us like that again. Right, that would be something we were like. Yeah, so most Israelis are not on board for a ceasefire, right? Because they're not. When we are being reactionary because of all those rapes and murders, much like the fucking Holocaust. Remember that? Yeah, it's a little bit of a touchy subject. That's why accusing us of genocide, accusing us of being Nazis, is such a shitty racist thing to do, and also detached from reality as well. But anyway, I digress. The people being that's us being reactionary, right? I think the response to Shooty was generally speaking a reactionary one, right? And I don't think, and Dan doesn't like reaction. So why are we talking about this? Because this DEI shit, the gay shit everywhere, it's all reactionary, right? It's all based on a reactionary emotional knee jerk. And when you do that, you don't really have anything you can like. There's no intellectual reason for it, but there doesn't really need to be one, because the heart is the captain of the ship. I've said that a million times, right? The heart will make you see things that make you agree with your heart, right? The heart's the captain of the ship. But you need to double and triple and quadruple and keep going down on things over and over again. Millie, darling, do you want to double, quadruple, going down? I wouldn't fight with you on that. I wouldn't fight with you. Anyway, but that's what's going on at the BBC. That's what's going on in all these organizations, right? But man, I've been saying it for years. The apocalypse is coming. Please, pass over. Let's get a bit of apocalypse going.
Only wanting to employ people who will buy into their groupthink, which is really, really concerning, but also just goes to show how they are not remotely interested in resolving the issues that
no, they're not. They figure they just shout it more and ignore everything, that we will all go, oh, chicks with dicks are totally normal. What was I thinking with all those, thousands of years of science and religion saying nah? I mean, how often does science and religion agree? Not often. That's one of the times.
They have.
Oh, indeed. And what's worrying about this? I mean, we don't want to hire people, who are racist. Well, okay, I don't want to work with people who are racist or sexist either. However, this isn't about that. This thinking is that if you're white, you need to accept that you're probably racist and you're a bad person, and that black people and Asian people are somehow victims. And
how are Asian people victims? Right? The Asian median income in America, I don't know England, but in America is, I think, 186,000 a year, while the average white income is 171,000 a year. Right? It seems to be they're doing pretty well.
If you're a man, then you're toxic, and you have to accept a lot of things which actually vast majority of people don't believe in this country. But if you don't pay lip service to it, you're not going to get a job. And that's
no, it's not just lip service. You've got to be part of the bloody cult.
Probably the same. I think we're pretty sure in the police service. If you want to get a job, if you want to work as a judge, you have to go through a lot of this training as well. If you want to work in the civil service, police, anything. So
yeah, everything's been taken over. Man, that's the other thing. Publicly flog some of these some people running these colleges. Publicly flog them, or maybe just strip them naked and shame march them through towns for feces and vomit to be thrown upon them.
All of these bodies and all of these people who have a huge amount of power in this country over us individually, over how services are run and funding and the information that people get on their TV screens, are all being required to, in this Orwellian way, to say, I believe this, I salute to the orthodoxy of political correctness. But I imagine someone turning up. I mean, I can imagine a black man, a lesbian woman saying, well, actually, no, I don't accept some of these things.
I mean, look at the chat. Like, half the chat's bloody gay, and they're like, what the fuck is with all this gay shit, right? Like, really? Yeah, that's it. Again, one of the other things I hate DEI, it doesn't treat people like people. It treats people like objects. It treats people like trophies. Oh, look, I've got a trans one at my show. I'm so good.
And I wouldn't think it was my job to actually promote this or that. I would think it would be my job, if you've hired me as a cameraman or whatever, to do the job of being a cameraman and just get on with my job and do it well. But they wouldn't be hired because they wouldn't tick the right groupthink box.
Exactly. And this is the concerning thing, isn't it? Because this diversity agenda is just really patronizing and divisive. And if you went in there and said, I don't really buy into diversity. What I buy into is meritocracy and the right person for the right job.
Oh, that's it. They're going to slam your balls in a drawer. They're like, well, wait a minute. Do you like to fuck children? Oh, yeah. Oh, you're in, mate. BBC. Well, we love fucking children at BBC. Don't tell anyone. It got out a couple of times, but I think we got away with it.
And you're going to have more men wanting to do those kind of jobs because that's more like what men are interested in, and that's okay. Suddenly, what you can't be employed by the BBC because you're too right wing or something. It's really dangerous.
You're too right wing to think chicks with dicks isn't a real thing, isn't a scientific thing.
And as you say, this has eked into all of our institutions, hasn't it? But at the moment, we're being forced to pay for the BBC, and this is what our supporters would demand: is that we shouldn't be forced to pay for this kind of agenda.
We shouldn't be forced to pay to be told chicks have dicks, right? We shouldn't be forced to pay that. And some of the greatest minds have come in on this, and they've opined.
No, there are no chicks with dicks, Johnny. Only guys with tits.
That's very true. That's right. By the way, I do like the TED TV show. I'm only like 3 or 4 episodes in. I quite enjoy it. Man, they put a ton of money into that, but ain't gonna save you, Peacock. You're going down, baby.
It's divisive. And, if you were a black man or, like you say, a lesbian who goes to work, you don't want to be thought that you've been given the job.
Could you imagine Mega Geek in David Diaz going for an interview? Oh, that would be awesome. Okay, one second. Where's my phone? Fine. I'm leaving him a message right now, okay? That's what we're doing. 1 second. You're going to leave a voicemail on the Twitwats by your phone. You can't do it on the desktop app for some reason. So the last bit I was listening to his him on Type 40 was it a couple of weeks ago, talking about Star Trek. And he's saying he would get Robert De Niro to be the captain. I'm like, no! Firstly, he's bonkers make bonkers. Trump broke him. Right? Trump completely broke Robert De Niro. And so I got back to him and said, no, you know who you want. You want a big star as your star of Star Trek. Christian Slater. He loves Star Trek. He was in Star Trek 6. Right? He was the helmsman in Star Trek 6 on the Excelsior. Yeah, I think he's the one that... What's it Sulu say? Well, fly it apart then. We're going to come and save Captain Kirk. It wasn't the best one, Star Trek. I quite liked it. It was a good ending, right? It was a good ending to that original. Anyway, so let me leave. What was I going to say? Oh yes, Ian, how you doing, mate? I'm actually on a live stream as we speak. You are becoming content. This message is content. So I'm watching this thing from Talk TV saying that BBC staff are told not to hire those dismissive of diversity. And they're talking about, well, what happens if you have a black or gay person come in for an interview with the BBC and he's dismissive? They'll be thrown out. I just think it would be the greatest sketch ever, right? The greatest sketch ever for you, I mean, in character as you, obviously, to being interviewed for a job at the BBC. Oh my God, this thing writes itself. It's brilliant, right? It's brilliant. Listen, I know your hands full of Rebecca Gold season 2. Check out Rebecca Gold season 1 if you haven't seen. Freaking awesome. Absolutely. Actually, just check out the channel in general. He's got a lot of good movies. What's the one I really liked? I liked, what's it called? Bad Day? Hard Day? I can't remember, but it was good, right? He knows how to make a good movie, does how to make a geek. Anyway, sorry, I'm leaving a message. So anyway, I would love to see that skit. I'm not sure how we're ever going to see it happen, but if you want to check this on the playback, I'm leaving this 28 minutes in, so you'll be able to find it then. Okay, very good. Toodle bit. Catch you later. Doink, and we go doink. Aha! There you go. The appliance of science, baby. What was that? Zalusi or the mass get smashed for people? I can't remember. Oh, we got to do the mash get smashed robots with somebody, right? They got to come in at some point into a thumbnail.
For that reason, you want to think that you've been given the job because you're the best person for the job, and so it just undermines the whole sort of team fabric, doesn't it? And then you just get this sort of blob.
Well, you see, look, here's the thing: they only hire people of the same mindset, right? Of the same mindset, which actually this segues quite nicely over to here. Hang on a second. Share screen. Doink, doink, doink. So this story is like really kind of gathering a bit of steam now. Blinken says evidence of UNRWA staffers in October 7th are highly credible, right? Highly credible. Well, it's not only that. Here's the thing. UNRWA is exactly like the BBC, right? Exactly like the BBC. Do they have the pictures of UNRWA there, of like them stealing stuff using an UNRWA base? I don't know. Like, there was only 12 people who from UNRWA that took part in October. It was, I find amazing. But there are Israel Intel shows 10% of UNRWA workers in Gaza have ties to terror group. Well, that's very true. Yeah, let's go. I completely believe that. That makes a lot of sense. There isn't that much difference between the UN and Hamas, right? And those who don't have a direct tie to it are like the BBC, right? Yeah, are you dismissive of was it Hamas policy of killing all the Jews in the most heinous way possible? Are you dismissive of that? Yes. Well, you're not right for Hamas, then. You don't fit the corporate culture, right? You do not fit the corporate culture. Anyway, which reminds me of this. It segues over to here. Man, I'm so sick of watching ignorant morons who think they know everything talk about Israel, right? Oh God, it makes me so crazy. So there's this one over here. Doink.
Who has revealed Israel is prepared to go it alone in its war with Hamas if the...
Yeah, but it looks like America's spoiling to start war with Iran, so that works out well for us, right?
International community doesn't lend support, speaking exclusively to talk to
one sec, before he gets to this recovering stuff, so we're just going over the talking heads.
To do, sit back and say to Hamas, look, okay, we're not going to do... So how you begin the process of...
Let's go back to the discussion bit.
And they could identify all the camps, all the areas they're at.
Here we go.
We're doing.
One of the difficulties, I think, with this, and I think everybody probably shares it, how do you get rid of Hamas? You could obliterate all of every single one of them in that region. They could identify all the camps, all the areas they're holding weaponry.
Well, okay, here's what I think you need to do. Just take out any ability of them to perform any military action. If that means killing everybody in Hamas, that's fine by me. I have no problem. They've got 30,000 troops, right? Right now, they're saying how many are killed has been killed so far in Gaza? I think they're saying 30. Look, I mean, the numbers are all bullshit, right? The numbers are all bullshit. But say 30, 40, I'd say 40,000. 40,000. And I think it's 30,000 they were saying. How many killed in Gaza war? Let's see if they will give me the. Let's see what the BBC says. On average, 300 people a day. Man, these are all out of date. These are all out. There's a 2014 one. We should have done some more there. It will sound like 30,000, right? That Hamas was claiming, right? Sound like 30,000. Oh, here, let's see what Wikipedia has to say. Where is it? Okay, so they're saying 26,751 killed, right? So Israel is claiming that they've killed, and their estimates are normally pretty good, that they've killed 8,000. This was from about a week ago. Killed 8,000 Hamas and injured, so they're not able to fight, another 10,000. That's like 18,000. That's like we're getting up to. They're down to about 33% capability, right? So let's say 16,000 out of what was this from? This 26,000. Let me see if I can find it. Doesn't give me a date. Doesn't give me a date, right? Okay, but okay, let's say I'm going to say 30,000, right? And Israel's saying they've taken out, what was it, 16, 17,000, something like that. So just going by Hamas figures, and look, I want to be absolutely clear. Any innocent civilian dying, any innocent child dying, although, I don't see. I mean, look, my definition of an innocent child is different, right? My definition of innocent child is somebody who hasn't been brought up on a relentless doctrine of wanting to murder Jews, which they have been, right? It's it's like endemic to go. And this was our own stupid fault. This was Israel's stupid fault that they let this go down, right? We are absolute idiots that we let them control their own media. But here, look, this is. I'll give you an example right now. 1 second, doink. Share screen. Window. Like, this is a Charles Jigsaw showing them eradicating the Jews. Like, this is a Charles Jigsaw saying perform Holocaust on the Jews, right? And look, I can tell you factually, I live here, and nobody's saying, yeah, let's do a Holocaust. This claim of genocide is obscene. In that, it's just bollocks, mate. It is just like, there's no, the claim of genocide comes from the racist view of the bloodthirsty evil Jew, right? The bloodthirsty evil Jew who did the Nakba, which was October the 7th times 1,000,000, but it didn't really happen, right? What happened was that a vastly inferior force survived the 48 War of Independence and retains territory, and the Palestinians were embarrassed. They said, oh, they were evil devil men. Evil devil men, Jews. No, whatever. But they've been brought up in it all their lives, right? Their entire life. So are they innocent? No, their innocence has been stolen from them from fucking Hamas. By Hamas. That's why I think whatever happens, we need to control media. We need to control media and pump the message we should all be friends and live together in peace and harmony, right? Because it's better for everyone, right? It's absolutely better for everyone. Right, it's amazing though. Yeah, you meet these pontificating talking heads. You'll see these pontificating talking heads, and you will say, "Oh no, it's not like that," and they'll say, "No, Netanyahu pulled the wall over your eyes." Really, I live here, you cunt. Really, I think I might have a better idea than you. No, you don't. I think that's kind of the conversation I had with what's his name again? Not Philip Martin. He was the guy from Rings on Your Fingers and Vengeance on Varus. Oh, what's his bloody name? The guy who finds lost. Well, he hasn't done so much recently. Who finds lost episodes? Philip Morris, right? Basically, that was Philip Morris. Yeah, he was like, no, you don't know anything. I'm like, well, actually, I kind of do. Anyway. So that's the first. So, but yeah, any non-combatant, we'll put it that way. Any non-combatant killed is a tragedy. I agree with that. Now you'll notice no one on the Hamas side says that. They're like, well, the occupiers, they had it coming. I mean, you have people who give like maybe 2 or 3 seconds, 2 or 3 seconds FaceTime, right? To saying sorry for October 7th, but that's about it, right? Because they know they got to say that to be able to get out their Jew-hating their Jew-hating narrative, right? But mostly they don't. No, any is a tragedy. But if 30,000 been killed, and was it 8,000 of them is Hamas, 8, 16, 24, 30. So that's like 1 in 4, which is slightly better than the British and the American civilian casualties. I don't believe the Hamas statistics. Right? I mean, look, they said 500 babies were killed when none, absolutely none were, right? Rich, remember that? When they said, the Israelis have bombed a hospital, and it turned out to be an Islamic Jihad misfiring rocket that landed in the parking lot. It made a little fire, and no babies were killed. So look, if you say that Israel's killed 500 babies, and they haven't, and at that point, your credibility isn't so great, except if you're Owen Jones, and then everything you say is still 100% correct. So I'm wondering like Jeremy Corbyn so much. Anyway, so I think those numbers are bullshit. I think the numbers are great. Cut them in half, maybe. That would give it 1 in 2, which makes sense, seeing as we tell them where we're about to attack, which is something I would rather they didn't. Anyway, with all that said, listen to these talking head morons.
The head honchos and people that are in charge, you get rid of every single one of them. And like the proverbial air bubble, they will just pop up somewhere else. It's an ideology.
No, mate. Again, just crush them out of existence. And that's not everybody in Gaza. There's everybody in Gaza willing to take up arms to kill Jews. Yes.
It's, to these people, it's an evangelical religion, extreme as it might be. That's what it is. So you're not going to get rid of it. I don't know the answer to how you begin the process of doing this. What I do know is that...
Start by killing the people with the guns who are hiding in tunnels, okay? That's part one.
Israel has a right to defend itself. And I think Netanyahu is right, actually. What are you meant to do? Sit back and say to Hamas, look, okay, we're not going to do anything here.
Yeah, look, Hamas's demands are kill all the Jews, right? And so what? You're saying, well, can you meet them halfway? Fuck off! No! Right? I mean, I guess if Hamas completely surrendered, handed over all their weapons, all the hostages or the bodies of the hostages, right? Handed them all over, right? And said, at that point, they wouldn't need to all be killed, right? If they do that, that's a good idea for them.
Which would give them the confidence to continue and to grow and to subjugate and do whatever else they want to do. I mean, and every time I speak to a professor or an expert in this area of international politics, geopolitics, whatever you want to call it.
So I think this was when Owen Jones said, see how evil Netanyahu is. He's already planting a tree in Gaza because they want to occupy it after they commit genocide. That was actually one of the kibbutzes destroyed by Hamas, its rededication ceremony with the planting a new tree there. Owen Jones is just a lying racist cunt, isn't he? I mean, that's it. Why do I think Owen Jones is a lying racist cunt? Because I caught him lying in a racist cunty way. So that's where I come to it.
Call it. I think everybody has the same response. We're just not sure.
But this thing of self-defense. So in this country, if someone attacks you in the street, you're allowed to defend yourself by punching them, kicking them back, whatever. If that person who attacked you runs away and you chase after them and you catch them and you carry on beating them, that's no longer self-defense.
Okay, that's not what's happening. You ignorant cunt, right? You absolute ignorant cunt. Oh, yes, we're keeping... Okay, if we caught them, we'll have the fucking hostages back, you moron cunt. Can you show me where they are? When they're coming back? All right. Oh, is it disproportionate? Oh, you're right. They raped a lot more women before they murdered them than the Jews did. You're right. But Jews don't want to be, the rapey kind. It's not nice, right? We're not into that.
And I feel with Israel, I think with Netanyahu, the only way he's going to eradicate Hamas would be to kill every single person in Gaza. And
so you're saying everyone in Gaza is Hamas, right? No, again, re-education. You leftists love that, don't you?
That seems to be what is happening. Because
oh, really? You lying cunt! One bomb will kill everybody fucking in Gaza, you lying cunt bastard! Oh, that seems to be what happened. How? You defamatory, racist piece of shit cunt! How is that happening?
The amount of civilians who have been killed already...
Far less than the British managed.
The amount of children...
According to Hamas.
According to Hamas. Well,
according to math, I trust them. Obviously, they're not like Jews.
But we know from the UN.
Oh wait, UN, who take the number from Hamas, UNRWA.
Well, UN and Hamas are almost the same thing.
No, they're not.
No, really, actually, they were right. That's why UNRWA is being defunded. That's what's going on.
No, that's not fair to say.
It's very fair to say. It's 100% accurate to say.
Know that children are being having their limbs removed without anesthesia.
How do you know that? Who's doing that?
We know that miscarriages have gone up by 300%. We know.
I would believe that, but how many miscarriages are there? I mean, I'm sorry. How do you know all this?
Women.
I don't think we know those.
Well,
for sure.
Okay, we don't know for sure. Fine.
These are the anecdotal stories.
Here's the.
We don't know for sure. Yes, and that's really quite important. You racist piece of shit cunt.
Facts. Here's the facts. Over 20,000 innocent civilians have been murdered.
Yes.
How many?
Okay, so you're saying 20,000? I'll go with that estimate. So in that case, 9,000, I believe, are Hamas. We're getting a 1 in 2 rate. Double. That's 2 times that. British, when they did in Desert Storm, they minimally 4 civilians would die for every enemy combatant, right? 4. It was actually 3 to 1, right? It was a 3 to 1. This is a 1-on-1. What are you bleating about?
How many hostages has that brought back?
Well, I don't think we're getting any of them back, but I think they're shitting themselves, right?
We can talk about who started it, who did what.
Hamas started it. They did that.
There is no way they are going to stop Hamas by killing more and more.
I'm going to agree.
Really? Wouldn't it be great if you had that attitude during World War II? Well, there's no way we're going to stop the Germans by killing more of them. No, No, we should write strongly worded letters. I feel bad for the Germans who've been killed by the British. They're so horrible.
I agree with you, actually. I'm deeply nervous where we go from here because there are 1.5 million Palestinians who are fleeing for their lives. We've got UNRWA being suspended, the aid being suspended.
Why is that? Because they're all Hamas cunts.
Because they found out some of the people working for UNRWA were involved in that terrorist attack.
Were involved, you mean? Well, just to be clear, were involved in that another way of wording it is they found that people working for UNRWA, the UN, raped, murdered, and beheaded Jewish babies because they were Jews. Oh, there's some involvement.
Equally, Netanyahu doesn't want a solution as far as I can see.
You fucking moron. Yes, he does. Again, you have absolutely no clue what it's like in Israel, what people think in Israel. You are just, again, what an absolute arrogant cunt, projecting your opinions that you know literally nothing about. I mean, how would you like it if I started to say, oh yeah, everybody in England just hates the Chinese, right? They hate Chinese people. Don't be, if you're Chinese people, they'll kill you on sight. You know, and you feel fine to say that. And fuck me. I mean, like, I've never seen somebody more deserving of wearing pink trousers than you, mate.
So the two-state solution, which is on the table,
it's not on the fucking table, right? It was on the table until Hamas took it off.
Said absolutely not. He's also said in any future...
Okay, he didn't say absolutely not. So we cannot reward Hamas for October the 7th by giving them a state. Again, do you fact-check anything coming out your idiot cunt mouth?
Sort of resolution of this, that Israel has to police it. Yeah. Well, I don't think that is really acceptable. He also...
what are you a doctor of?
Calls for a new Palestinian authority.
Although, your last name's pretty good, Dr. Ball. Dr. Ball comes in.
Authority to oversee it. He wants a role for Egypt and he wants a multinational force to rebuild Gaza. Well, hang on a minute. You also have to play nicely with the United States, the United Kingdom and the Allies as well. So, and I was talking to...
So you're saying we should let ourselves be raped and murdered to play nicely with them? That's what you're saying? Oh, man, I wish I was in that room with him.
To a young Jewish man at the weekend on my show, and he was telling me that actually Netanyahu is not widely liked in Israel.
No. Yeah. Well, that's what the press says. I don't think it's not widely liked by the press, that's for sure. I think he's got, if there's election day, he would win hands down.
And I think that's exactly what we forget.
I think that's one of the most important things to remember.
Yeah, but it's not true, Daisy.
Netanyahu...
Fuck me, my dog's called Daisy and she's smarter than you.
Wants is to keep his job, I'm afraid to say. I don't think...
Actually, I don't think he does, really. Look, like, he could easily retire and be fine.
That pretty much anything else he says is completely genuine. He thinks that the way to keep his job is to keep the war going. Because the minute the war...
No, arsehole. My kids are in the war. Everybody's kids are in fucking war. You don't sleep at night. I haven't slept at night for months. Oh, man, you're always worried. Right, here's another thing. I just realized, right, next time I see my older son who's married, right, I've got to tell him to leave messages to minimally 2 people, right, to say that if he is killed and his body isn't found, right, that he's issuing a request for a divorce to his wife. Why? Because if there's no body, she can't remarry, right? It's a fucked up thing, but like that's why they try and find any evidence of somebody's been killed, right? By a Jewish law, she can't marry. She's stuck. She's called anaguna, right? I got to tell my son to give a provisional divorce to his wife in case he gets killed. And we never see his body, right? So she can have a life. Man. But that's it. Again, how the fuck do you know anything that you're talking about?
Ends, his role ends, he is defunct, he is, Look
at you, nodding like you know something.
Extra to the needs of the country, and I think they'll get rid of him.
Although, weirdly, do you notice the guy in the pink, in the pink trousers, right? He's wearing a spotted shirt, and the guy in the was it dark green suit has a T-square much like his that guy's shirt. Weird, but true.
The country, and I think they'll get rid of him. I think he's not just unpopular now. I think he's lost the majority of support.
Why do you think that? Because you read the papers, do you? Oh well, they're always reliable.
Partly because people held him responsible for taking his eye off the ball, and partly because they have seen that the hostages are not being brought back. So it seems to me that this is a man clinging on to power and thinking
It seems to you in your ignorant perch point of view. And again, look, if somebody better than Natalie Young comes up, I'll be like, fine, go for him.
The only way to do that is to carry on.
But would a replacement make any difference to this? And how do you deal with a medieval death cult on your doorstep?
Well, yeah, these are pretty good questions. Brain Boxers over here. Do you have any ideas?
What are you meant to do? And by the way, just to compound it, JJ, I abhor seeing those scenes of
yeah, but they show you those scenes to weaponize them.
Babies, whatever side they happen to be on. There seems to be a lot of that put out there, etc. The kind of uncomfortable counter argument is, we had a war with Germany twice, and on both of those occasions there were lots of casualties in order to achieve what ultimately turned out to be
more casualties, more civilian casualties. Don't go back to Germany. Go to Desert Storm.
The right decision. Go on, Dave.
I mean, just one tiny thing is, this is a bit of a hooray for Talk TV, but that was a very impressive interview for Douglas Murray to get. Netanyahu hasn't given an Israeli journalist an interview since October the 7th. So,
well, look, we like Douglas Murray. Don't get us wrong. Britain's finest Englishman.
So, the plaudits to him for getting that interview. That is serious journalism.
Absolutely right. Right.
There you go. Ah, man. So that's what life's like here on the front lines. Let's have a quick look over here. Hang on a second. Share screen. Doink, share screen. There we go. No, I could write. Hamas leader says number of prisoners in Israel will free to be decided by hostages. Daniel saying you're not getting anyone, and I think he's probably going to get lots of more. Israel will not free thousands of terrorists or withdraw IDF for hostage deal. I think that's a tough choice, but I agree with him. And again, it's my kids, literally my kids on the front fucking line, right? So look at this. This is crazy. IDF kills 3 terrorists planning October 7th like attack in hiding in hospital in Jenin. I mean, look at this. And these are the warm, fuzzy ones, right? I understand. There's no Hamas outside of Gaza. Fuck you. They're everywhere, and they want to kill you. Why they want to kill us? Because we're Jews, right? Because we're Jews. I am hoping this battle in Khan Yunis, which is raging right now. I hope they just I hope this is like their major stronghold. I hope it's their last stand, right? And they find a bunch of networks of tunnels. I would love something good to come out of this. Oh man, I would love something good to come out of that fight. Anyway, so I guess we better move on to geeky stuff. Man, I've been going on a long time. Oh, you know what? One last thing. I want to show you the character of Israel, of the country. Before we move on, this is something I have to do every time one of my kids come home and they're about to leave. So this is but it's much more pointed over here, right? So this is a grandfather who survived the Holocaust, right? And again, it's like we get a do-over for the Holocaust, but this time we're not lambs to the fucking slaughter. This time we got guns, right? He's giving his grandson a Jewish blessing before he, and I do this for my kids before they go off the wall. Man, he wished he had that grandson by him 70 years ago. Man, but that's what it's like a bit. Fine, with that. Let's get to the chat. I am so late. So freakishly late. Okay? Where are we up to? 1 second, Doink. Freakishly late. Yeah, I'm normal late. Oh, I forgot how good my thumbnail was. Again, always impressed myself. Who are you going to call? I have to say, that Perry is freaking awesome. I wish she was looking into the camera. But this was a lot of work, right? It wasn't that much. But firstly, getting him into basic Ghostbusters overalls, that was really tough, right? Finally, I worked out the prompts to do it. And then I had to Photoshop on the Ghostbusters badge, which I think I did a pretty good job of. Thank you very much. I think I did. And the proton packs are easy to put on, right? There, you just like I grabbed a screen grab of one. I think no, it was a replica of one, right, being sold. And just put them behind their backs, and it really works, right? It really works. Who are you going to call? We're going to be looking at the Ghostbusters trailer. We're also going to be looking at the what's his name? Guy Ritchie's new movie trailer. When I have a look back at By Generation, shit idea. By Generation bullshit, a bad idea that's aged badly in a tight space of time. Ghostbusters actually looks fun. Oh, by the way, the big story I was leading with about Big Finish, I've heard the exact opposite now, right? The accounts are the same as always. They always like this. There's nothing unusual going on whatsoever. And in fact, they did announce a new, reasonably shitty box set. So I don't know what to tell you, right? I don't know what to tell you. I think if we start seeing stuff like vanishing from the schedules, like or delayed, that leaves more, credence to it, right? But what's that to lighten up Miller's and Nicola's overalls? They weren't the same color, and they were too dark. But okay, I sorted it all out for you. Star Wars Chaos. We might get to that. Probably not now. I've ranted too much about Israel, right? So I don't know. Let me know in the chat if you want me to get to it. Fine. With that, let us. Bloody hell. Minimally half hour late. I'm getting to the chat. Lottie is here. How you doing, Lottie? Thank you for joining us. Howdy from the Republic of Texas. Texas holding the line, baby. Well, although Biden just collapsed, I understand they had the Border Patrol said we're not going to stop. We're not going to order take down the razor wire, right? We're not doing it. Leave us alone, right? So good for you. Something you don't. Joining the Rabbi's Miracle Pure for ED. Blimey, yeah. Well, it's doing the trick for me. Where we go? Darren M is here. How you doing, Darren? Thank you for joining us. The OTS Starties is here. How you doing, OTS Starties? And we have Review It Yourself. Here we go. Oh, Review It Yourself. I should contact you via privately, but I'll do it right here as well, if you assume you're still here. Sunday. How's Sunday for you to do a retrospective of Face of Death? I love the Face of Death. Freaking love the Face of Death. What we on? Darren M is talking about the rainforest of rainforest is Vancouver. Okanagan is North Vancouver. I don't know anything, but about 5 hours away. Okay, well, it's good to get a bit of geography in. Jonathan Cox is here. Doing TARDIS time is here. God, Doctor Who was great in 2009. We did not know how good we had it. Right, we did not know how good we had. You are 100% right, man. I say the same thing about my my community. It was wonderful 5 years ago, man. My community, hit the shitter. Yeah, at the same time as Doctor Who. It's actually a couple of years after Doctor Who. Yeah, but yeah, we had like a ton of really good people, and they died and moved away, and the place has just turned to shit. It's really sad, right? It's really sad. It was really sad, and and the weird thing is, like, I'm more crazily religious than most people. In that I believe God's real, right? And I try to follow the ramifications of that, right? Most of the normies just don't, right? Most of the normies, like, it was essentially destroyed by, we had two factions. We had the uptight cunts and the more laid-back nice people. So the guy in charge of the more laid-back nice people who really, held the synagogue together was this guy called Benny. Lovely guy, right? Lovely guy. But also wasn't like crazy uptight cunt religious. He was like he loved all Jews. Man, he loved all Jews, right? And he loved that synagogue. And this new rabbi came in, and he was one of the uptight cunts, right? And so he basically harassed this guy Benny to death. literally to death, right? I like he died, and I put his death entirely on that rabbi's shoulders, right? Because it's a whole thing. I'm not going to go into it, but like, and the normals were like, well, he's a rabbi, yeah, and look what it got them. It's funny, there's on October 6th. It's a big Jewish holiday called Simchat Torah, right? And you do a thing, you auction off the different honors during the day. Now, when I used to run the prayer group, I used to do it. I used to make a lot of money, right? I used to bring in a lot of money for synagogue, like about $5,000. Yeah, it was up there, right? And I would pay for something expensive as well. And like I watched the auction, right? And they raised maybe, I don't know, $50, nothing, right? Absolutely nothing, right? And it's because nobody gives a shit anymore. It's just sad, man. It's just sad. Everything's falling to shit. Come on, Apocalypse! Come on, Apocalypse! We're waiting for you now. Where are we up to? Jonathan Cox is here. Coldish. I'm cold. Lonnie says 16.67 centigrade in Texas. Well, you deserve good weather. For holding the line, sir. Hold that line. That's what it is. Yes, I'm on the cover of the 600 Doctor Who magazine with all those ecky, evil, nasty men. Oh, ecky thump. Really? Is she really? Really? Oh, Conrad said the stream wasn't live till you refreshed. That's weird. I wonder if it's due to YouTube moaned about ad blocker. I don't know. YouTube are just a pain in the ass. I mean, look, don't get me wrong. I'm happy for the platform. But like YouTube are just a pain in the ass, right? They are, right, a massive pain in the ass. I've got an Archer. There we go. Fine. I really should move on. Radiator keys. Yeah, we still got them. Oh, I love those radiator keys. You know what I always remind me of when you're having a really pleasant shit, right? When you're having a really pleasant shit and you hit a pocket of fart and it goes tss. I love that. I don't know why I love it. I also love it when your pee smells weird after asparagus. I don't know why. Having the dog come and lay on my face. Yes, I did say that. So, Shinemakers, how you doing, Sean Smiley? The question came up on another stream. How many Millie Gibson character options would Speed can buy if they made one? Put Millie Gibson in the Nicola Bryant outfit. Then we're talking, darling. Then we're talking. Just a bit of a head swap. Boink. Boil and pop, baby. Boil and pop. DB Strawberries. Cats as hot water bottles are the best, and they have two mere legs. And I understand to make an adequate mattress. That is true. That is true. Star Wars is dead, says Lonnie. Yeah. So I believe it could come back, right? I believe it could come back. It's gonna be hard, right? It's gonna. I don't think it will, but I think it could. Right, I think if you had if Favreau took over, right, and you just stop the sequel trilogy, just end. My idea is always do a huge big blockbuster movie, the life and death of Luke Skywalker. Right, make cinema epic. If you're gonna put something on the big screen, make it epic. If it's gonna and stop making content, make movies, which is why Godzilla -1 was such a good movie because it was a movie. Right, these are diagnosed with functional neurotic disorder, FND. She's taking it in a stride, but coming her parents is not fun. I believe that. Andy Dwelly is here. How you doing, Andy Dwelly? Thank you for joining us. Does he have anything but faults as Scott and Archer? Absolutely correct. Right, absolutely correct. I think everybody saw somewhere that there were calls for everyone to have to pay for the BBC. Yes, it'll say turn it into a house tax rather than TV's tax. How about this? How about you fuck off, right? How about you fuck off and stop fucking children, BBC? How about that for a plan? Would you like that? No, you're not so into it. Fine. The local news recently did a person in the street survey, admittedly London, and found out about what percentage of the population was trans, gay, non-white, and they were way overestimated the answers. Yeah, it's because you see it 24/7. Jonathan Cox says you're the next on the list. What next on the list for what? I wonder. I don't know. So don't blame you, Rabbi. I agree with you because we are the next on the list. Well, I'm saying this again. It's really interesting if you notice people's mindsets, make up their worldview, right? Make up their reality. And I spend so much time talking to my neighbors about how somebody is not anti-Semitic, right? They are not anti-Semitic if they don't see Hamas as being like completely, if they don't see it as black and white as we do, right? I mean, look, we know Hamas and essentially the people of Gaza and the Palestinians hate Jews and lie their asses off about them because we live it. It doesn't seem credible to somebody not in the game, doesn't have skin in the game, say, oh yeah, everything they say is lying, everything we say is true. No, it just doesn't sound correct. So I keep explaining to them, no, it's like if you don't, the claim that we're making is a unbelievable one, even though it is the truth, right? But that's the problem, right? But yeah, no, and also I always bring this thing down. There's a prophecy where the children of Esau, who are Christians essentially, and the children of Jacob, who are Jews essentially, will one day walk together. Yeah, I think we're all we're all there now, right? I think we're I think we're all backed in the same corner. We've been well warned about Russell Davis thinking when he sticks Doctor in a day vest and a kilt at a nightclub and makes seeing goblins, or tells Doctor being male limits his thinking. Yeah, listen, actually, I'll tell you, I found the gay dance scene self-indulgent, but not. I didn't feel like I was being slapped in the face with woke like I was during the rest of the specials, right? Again, it's a personal thing, I guess, right? Disaster. I think I said hello to you, haven't I? If I didn't, I'll say hello now, right? I'll say hello now. DI is a cult, pure and simple. Yeah, absolutely. Curtis Godwiner's here. They don't want toxic pro-reality people there. There are 4 lights, or you won't get a job. That is true. Where are we up to? Jonathan Cox said hello to you. Darren says, sub to Mega Geek. That's always good advice. Sub to me too. Submit to the Rabbi. I'll subscribe either. Zanussi, the appliance of science. Look how hostile the left are about Suella Braverman and Kemi Barrett. They continually attack from deviating. Exactly. It's exactly that, right? From deviating from opinion. That's exactly what it was. Wasn't Avon in one of the adverts? I bet he was. I bet he was. I can't remember it, but I bet he was. I think the only way to fund a war around, I think they only want to fund a war on Iran. They don't want Iran to keep putting out cheap oil, which will of course send on which of course send on party supplies for Israel. That's true. Israel lost 26,000 according to, and then 2K for the Gaza. I'm not sure. No, I think that's wrong. I'm reading it wrong. Okay, I'm reading it wrong. We're probably in the West in that our media classes are so uncritical of Hamas because they don't like Jews. That's really the bottom line. They don't like Jews, and they've been raised in higher education, which is filled with people who don't like Jews, right? Was it a single death is a tragedy, a million deaths is a statistic? General George Patton, that's true. Gareth Morgan said that. That is very true. Hello, Gareth Morgan. Thank you for joining us. Rabbi rant is going on. I did have a bit of good Rabbi rant going on. It's still going on. Owen Jones just needs a nice bit of cock, and he's just becoming the Daffyd Thomas of England. He is. I am the only gay in the village. He is, right? He is. I saw a thing saying, how dare Israel pinkwash their genocide. We're not doing genocide. Their genocide of Gaza. No, it's not pinkwashing to point out you're a hypocrite cunt. Right, hypocrite cunts, like in generally speaking, don't like people pointing out they're hypocrite cunts. Right, they get very uptight about that sort of thing. I'm sorry if you declare war today, but you're not going to get Tea Party. It's only a war. UNRWA and the UN don't like to be wrong, even though 9 times out of 10 they are. That is true. Mark Milford is here. How you doing, Miles? PD Rich. Mark Milford is here. Rabbi, keeping your family on rest. Thank you very much. I very much appreciate that. On Rosh Hashanah, La Behemoth, on a day to reflect on direct and indirect relationships with domestic animals is something you will observe with Whitey. I don't know what Rosh Hashanah Rosh Hashanah for behemoths. There's 4 Rosh Hashanahs, right? We just had the one for trees. Ross. I know there's one for animals. For animals, it's in the Talmud in Rosh Hashanah, called Rosh Hashanah. Animals. What is that? Wow, okay, that's about a month before the Jewish. So, that's an interesting thing. Let me see what. But I think this is about bringing animal sacrifices. I don't think it's about being warm and fuzzy. I think it's about bringing animal sacrifices. Look, essentially, Judaism is a sacrificial religion. Like, we have animal sacrifices, we have bread sacrifices, and that's the central way that we commune with God. Essentially, have a good steak. Look, I don't know if it's true or not, but I won't be eating whitey. If that's all your question. At least I hope not. This is British media for you, full of pretentious morons who have no idea what the fuck they're talking about. Yes, you have a limitless supply, although in all fairness, we have those in every country. Oh my God, it's Dr. David Bullshit from he used to Newsround. No wonder I did. Oh, listen, I whenever I see what's the name, Cushman Bumbo, the guy who always posts the Doctor Who ratings, I remember saying, "Oh, he's the guy from Newsround, right?" I think he's the guy from Newsround. And Joe Biden, Rishi Sunak, like to neck hunters, less so than Netanyahu, way less so. What's this? I miss it. They want to cast Rossi Davis and Shooty Gatwa as Zarbon and Dodoria. I have no idea what that is. He's replying to Lonnie about something. I wonder what that is. I wonder what Dodoria is. I don't know. Fine, I'm whizzing through the chat. I'm not that far. Don Lewis is here. You win a war in part by destroying the enemy's ability to wage war. Well, that is really kind of the important part of it, right? I would say that's kind of a big thing. Ghostbusters, babesters. We ain't afraid of no silicon implant. Well, we don't need those now with AI, baby. Perry, mind you of your first wife, man. I wouldn't have let her go. Yeah, any bit of it, quite frankly. I love when your piece smells after eating asparagus. I do. I really do. I love it that you had a hard dump and the nuggets fires out like a what? When you have a hard dump and the nuggets fires out like full torpedoes. Pew pew pew. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Tofu, right? Tofu is good for a good hard dump. Star Wars is dead. I bought a talking Darth Vader figure last week, and it seems to be a haunted toy. Does he say like woke crap to you? Like, Luke, we we must allow open immigration. No splashback from those things. Washing your ass with potty water. They're big in China, right? And also, it's a religious thing. Like the ultra orthodox, the Haredim, apparently they're big into the bidets now, right? They don't like toilet paper. Is that pink washing? Is there a gay version of white black washing? So Hollywood, yes, exactly. Lizzo Mazimba Rabbit, there you go. Oh, close enough. This is PD Rich. Rabbi, the holiday calls us to account for living beings that both depend on humans for survival and are necessary to support human lifestyles. The category of behemoth, that's a domesticated animal. Oh, you said it right there in your parentheses. Really? I translated it, and that's all you translated. It was right there. Includes all animals, both kosher and non-kosher, historically bred and domesticated by humans. This can include pets, livestock, tradition, and a long recognized that have special responsibilities to animals that are domesticated by ancestors years ago. Okay. Pew, pew, pew. The rabbi, that's me. Okay. Where should I caught up with the chat? Where should we go to first? There's a couple of trailers I want to look at. New Doctor Who magazine is out on Thursday, so we're going to talk about that. So I think I would like to get to an interview in Doctor Who magazine today. Let's start with Ghostbusters, right? Who are you going to call? video file. Because, like, again, okay, so this new Ghostbusters is everything we saw out of it is just woke as fuck, right? They have like, the help we can get. The wokest people in the world in it. It's who was it? Patton Oswalt. Oh god, I can't stand him. Such a woke fuck. And also the guy from Silicon Valley who they tried to make into an action hero, who's just a woke fuck, right? And has nothing acting about him. So this trailer starts off with something that really annoys me, okay?
We're gonna need all the help we can get.
Let's get to work.
Call dark and horny at 12 o'clock.
See, why? Why do I have a 5-second teaser telling me the trailer's going to start now? I mean, that's just stupid, mate. It is just stupid. This movie looks pretty darn good. I like a bit of Ghostbusters.
I've been waiting 40 years for this. They called themselves Ghostbusters. According to these hacks, they saved...
So it's clearly tying itself to the originals in a big way. So there's two reasons you do that, right? The reason one is because you respect and love the original, right? The second reason you do it is to legitimize your woke shit version of whatever it is. So I'm hoping it's the former rather than the latter, right?
the world. No eyewitnesses. And who is found to carry the torch? Descendants of Egon Spengler. You have a miner hanging out the side.
I have to say, I think this was a great innovation, right? I really do. I really, again, it feels very Ghostbusters to me.
Of a moving vehicle, firing a laser gun indiscriminately.
So, wait. Is this the guy? I'm pretty sure. This is, what was it, Mr. Pecker? Mr. Peck? I can't remember, who shut them down in the first movie. And, okay, here's why I remember this, because Bill Murray says, everything was working fine until Dickless here, this is in the first Ghostbusters, turned off the confinement, right? And then the mayor says, this is true. And he says, yes, it's true. This man has no dick, right? But in the TV version, they dubbed it to say, this man's some kind of rodent. I don't know which.
Has a proton pack. It's completely safe.
I wouldn't say completely safe.
The Ghostbusters are finished.
Right. Well, overruled. Sustained. Thank you.
I have to say, I think, what's his name? Paul Rudd, freaking perfect casting for Ghostbusters, right? Absolutely. Also, I love Carrie Coon as well. She's just a great actress. Right? One that I like weird shows that nobody else likes. One of those is called The Leftovers. She was great in that.
You the weird guy who buys strange old things?
Correct on both counts, buddy.
Yeah, this is the wokest fuck in the world. I can't stand this guy. When what's his name again? From Umbrella Academy. What's it again? Used to not changed their name a few years ago. What's the name of the guy? Hang a second. I'm gonna look at Umbrella Academy. And that Quilligan guy is nothing to do with YouTube. Umbrella Academy TV series. Elliot Page, right? I remember when Elliot Page, who looks just depressed and miserable, when Elliot Page became Elliot Page, he had this guy come and say, "Oh, I love Elliot Page. What a incredible, wonderful man he is," or something like that. I don't know. It looks like Walter Peck's the mayor. Okay, so that's The Leftovers, great show, absolutely great show. Oh, Lolly, you're religious. Religious people should really like it. Token Asian, maybe.
You just hit the jackpot.
I do like the involvement of the original Ghostbusters with the new generation. I think that's cool.
What is it?
Better question is,
another woke fuck.
what's inside of it?
The parables tell of an unimaginable evil commanding an army of ghosts.
I think Dan Aykroyd as being because he's a big he invented Ghostbusters, but he's always been into what's it called again? Spiritualism, occult, that sort of stuff. So him as like the the mentor really works.
With the power to kill by fear itself.
Like literally scared to death?
We might be looking at a second ice age.
Why did they do this in '89, right? Like, why couldn't it go on like '92?
We're gonna need all the help we can get.
Let's get to work.
Can I be of any help? Melnitz in uniform. Yes.
Okay, and again, I like they're leading into everything that was good about the first one. Oh man, that last scene. Well, not the last scene, the ending of the first one, right? Where you had his granddaughter, Egon's granddaughter, was like doing something with the proton pack. She was firing at something. And then the ghost of Egon Spengler, what's he called again? Ghostbusters. What's his name again? Howard Ramis, right? Perfect, like just perfect play. Comes and strengthens her hand, like holds her hand. That was just beautiful, right? It was absolutely beautiful. I love that.
If there's something strange, if there's something weird, who are people gonna call?
Ghostbusters, what do you want?
I even like her being back in it. I'm a sucker for this.
We're the Ghostbusters. Can I tell you something else? What? Buster makes me feel good. It makes me feel good.
All right, that came alive, didn't it, in the first one as well? I mean, good villain monster as well. It just feels like they're not repeating themselves a little bit.
Heads up. Tall, dark, and horny at 12 o'clock.
Yeah, that's all cool. That is all cool. When's this coming out? This actually looks like a good movie. Well, all the good movies right now are sequels on things 40 years ago. There's also like what was it? Beetlejuice coming out this year. Yeah, so I didn't get the "he slimed me" thing back in '85 when I first saw it. I feel so funky. Like, now I get it, right? Now I get it. I'm a little bit of March 22nd. Yeah, I will totally be watching that. I am looking forward to it coming back, right? So it seems to me, because Ghostbusters Afterlife had a very different tone to Ghostbusters 1 and 2. I even like Ghostbusters 2, right? I really do. Had a very different type. It was a very different type of movie, but I think this one looks much more like the comedy action adventure, which I think is more what Ghostbusters. Is it a bunch of member bearers strung together? I don't know. Look, I'm an optimistic soul, and that never serves me well. That never, ever serves me well. Right, I was optimistic soul about Doctor Who. Right, didn't serve me well. Right, sometimes it does, but still hoping for the apocalypse. Is there any other bits to it? That looks very good. When's it coming out in Israel? That's the question. Yeah, do we have it? 1 second, I'll go and look at the. Yeah, I'll show you. We will look at what's the name? Hot Cinema, I think it's called. That's it. There's people who bought my local cinema chain. Like, we got movies coming up. Oh, I'm going to show it to you in Hebrew. It's much more. We'll keep it in Hebrew. It's a lot more fun that way. Where are we going? Doink over here. Share screen. When's that coming out? Oh, Argyle's coming out. I'm looking forward to that. That looks good. Okay, what was it? We'll go over here. Akshav Bakulanot. That means right now in the cinemas. Bakurov Bakulanot. So March. Let's see what we got coming. Well, man, February is a good month for movies. Sorting out. We got there's a lot coming out in February. Argyle. I wouldn't mind seeing that. That looks pretty darn good. Anything else that's leaping out at me? Madam Web, no thank you. Give that one a miss. You got the Russian Argyle coming out also. That looks like, I don't know. And then you have Dune at the end of the month, which I am looking forward to. Oh, yay! We get this on the 28th. Can't wait. Cannot wait. When's it coming out in America? 22nd. Okay, a week later, I can put up with that. Oh, man. Yeah. I am up for that. Still no sign of Godzilla -1, though. Furiosa, that's coming out. Let's talk about Godzilla -1. Because that was really good, right? That was really, really, really good. Hang on, let me pull this up. Godzilla -1. So, where is it? Hang on. I think I had a poster here. Didn't I have a poster here? Yeah, one second. Let me pull one out. Godzilla -1. Images. There we go. Doink. Grab that. Put this over here. Godzilla. Here we go. Share screen. Got you. So finally, I got to watch this thing, and it was a really great movie, right? A really genuinely great movie. It's a huge recommend, right? It's a huge recommend. So my first journey into Godzilla was, I remember seeing it on on school holidays, Sunday mornings, in when I was young in the 80s. Just part of the world that you grew up in. It was like big monsters, guy walking around in a costume, in a big Godzilla suit, like stomping on a little model of Tokyo. It's fun, it's silly, as the later Godzilla movies became. And then, of course, we had the Godzilla cartoon with Godzuki. I wasn't a fan of Godzuki. Anyway, but then several years ago, I think when it was I think when Gareth Edwards one was coming out, when they're basically reviving the monster, I went back and watched the original version, and it's an expression of why I really love pop culture, right? Because pop culture allows you to be able to comment on things in reality, comment on the world in a way that's very painful things, right? That you're not able to attack directly. And that first Godzilla was absolutely Japan's national mourning, grief, shock, horror, repulsion, disgust at the losing World War II, entering a war that they lost. So they had all this shame and humiliation. And also, the being the victims of nuclear attack, right? It absolutely shook the country, and that's how shook the nation in the same way October 7th it shook Israel, right? In a world generally a world changing way, which this one really leads into, right? This one, they tried to do serious Godzilla movies a lot over the last 10 years or so. This is the only one that really worked because it focuses much more on the human drama than it does on Godzilla, and Godzilla is more a catalyst for the human drama, right? The Gareth Edwards ones, everything, they tried to do that with what's the name, Bryan Cranston in it, but this one, and it's a testament to how great this script is because it's all subtitled. That I found the characters much more compelling. Right, I found the characters. You're very, very much bought into the character's journey, and here's again, and you're reading what they're saying via subtitles, which I think is a sign of strength of writing. It really is, right? So essentially, it starts off at the end of World War II, and you have I can't remember any character's name in it. Right, they're all like Shugir-san, Shikir-san. I have no idea. I'm no freaking idea. Right, but this kamikaze pilot. He makes a landing in one of the Japanese islands, and he says there's a problem with his plane, and it turns out there's no problem with the plane, right? He just doesn't want to be a kamikaze pilot, right? He doesn't want to. It was towards the end of the war. He knew that it was, he knew everybody knew that he knew that Japan wasn't going to win, right? So that night right? While he's there, he has this Godzilla encounter, and it's a it's a baby Godzilla, right? It's when I say baby, he's still like, I don't know, as tall as your average house, maybe a little bit taller, right? Not skyscraper size, more like 2-3 story house size, right? I think more closer to 2 stories, right? Maybe a little bit more than 2 stories. And this event sets up the catalyst for this. Like, again, he's suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder throughout this movie, but from this event, right, where he sees everybody, basically everybody gets brutally killed by Godzilla, and it's like so that mixed with the pain of him not being of pain and the shame of him not going through with his kamikaze orders, right? It's the shadow of the whole movie, and it defines this character, right? And that is the what he needs to grow out of in the movie, and it's a very, very engaging and beautiful story, right? I really think so. So I think that takes up to. I'm not going to give you major spoilers, right? But he goes back to Japan, and he finds his family home destroyed, and his parents are killed, and people and like there's just anger at him, right? Because he didn't do his. The people of Japan didn't do their job, like they lost, and and so you see all this devastation, right? And you see all this like recrimination. And it really sets the world for what the world of Japan was post World War II, right? Because as soon as the movie gets going, the World War II's over, and they're rebuilding, and you see like this shattered society and the shattered lives, right? So he essentially ends up getting a ready-made family. He meets a girl who has a baby. And it turns out it's not her baby. She's it was just like a refugee, for want of a better word, like an orphan's kid, right? And they form a family unit, but they aren't dating, they aren't stripping each other, right? And they should get married. They do fall in love, and so the next like 20 minutes though is like you see the next few years unfold in post-war Japan as they start to recover slowly. And that's really the drive of the movie, right? The recovery in post-war Japan. And then, when Godzilla shows up, it's so much more painful, right? It's so much more incredibly painful when you see the rebuilding that's been done in Japan after the war to be destroyed again by Godzilla. The Godzilla scenes I found excellent, but they're going to be excellent these days, right? They're going to be completely committed. Did I find the Gareth Edwards one slightly more realistic? Well, it's hard to really comment because I haven't seen it on like a 4K copy, right? I saw a very good cam version of it. Quite frankly, it seemed very professional. So I got so I can't really comment on the special effects, but it seems fine, right? It seems absolutely fine. But the thrust of the movie, well, one of the main thrusts of the movie is the relationship between this woman that he doesn't hook up with, but they live together and they raise a kid together, and the struggles for in post-war Japan to cope with, to think about, to be able to assimilate what has happened to them, right? And so towards the end of the movie, when you have when Godzilla basically shows up, right, and threatens everyone. So you have a lot of the ex-military or now private citizens come up with a plan to take on Godzilla. And because you're so invested in all of these characters, right, it's a much bigger deal, right? It's like you are very emotionally carried through this this movie through their journey. And then you see like all this resentment and hatred towards the government for bringing them in, the Japanese government for bringing them into this war. And screwing up essentially, right? And then really towards the end, this is something I wish we would do here in Israel right now, right? It makes me so mad, You know, I'll give you things. So was it last Sabbath? My this new young rabbi we have, who's okay. I don't mind him, right? Came up and said Mazel Tov to me because my younger son got engaged. So I was like, I didn't want to do it. I said, yeah, well, you know, if he survives. He said, and that freaked him out. I say that. So what I wanted to say, but I let him off the hook because he's a cute little kid. I'm not going to be kid to like crush him. But like, you know, I wanted to turn around to him and say, yeah, look, October 7th is because we're all supposedly religious. October 7th is clearly a sign that God's super duper happy with us, right? Absolutely a sign of that, right? It wasn't an obscene, terrible punishment for you know the things that we do or we don't do, right? And then clearly, why would I worry about my son when following October 7th, their rabbinic leadership took so much responsibility, none whatsoever. They took so much responsibility for what happened and led us. Spiritually led us to introspect to see where we were wrong and where God is trying to tell us to grow. And again, if you're not religious, it's fine not to think that way, but I'm talking the fucking rabbi, right? And I have to tell you, our rabbinic leadership, our rabbinic class, totally fucking useless. Like, completely useless. Oh, God. And like, I can't get over that. But anyway, the point is this. So you have this moment in this movie towards the end where they're openly talking about where they were wrong in World War II and say, we didn't care enough about life, right? We built fighter jets without ejector seats, right? And then we went on to kamikaze pilots, and that was wrong, right? That was where we failed, right? And be able to introspect that way, like honestly, without squirming, without getting... That was, I think, the most important thing in taking on Godzilla, right? It absolutely. Now, so then in the last quarter of the movie, you have this plan to take on Godzilla. You have like you have all the Godzilla tropes, right? You've got Godzilla throwing trains and stuff across. Well, it's not Tokyo; it's another town, right? But so you have all of that. But again, that the layers of emotional complexity that they put onto it make this into a totally different movie. If the Oscars were still worth anything, and they're not, they're garbage, this should get Best Picture, right? It's a really, really, I mean, the Best Picture Oscars are normally like a, very weighty, Kyoto, thank you, Lonnie. Very weighty, serious character pieces. That's really what does well in the Oscars. This is the same thing, right? This is exactly the same thing. You're very much on the hero's journey. There are surprising events that happen in it. There's something happens halfway through. I was like, holy shit! Really? That blew me away, right? And I thought I liked the ending. The ending was happy, I would say. Yeah, I would call it a happy. But the main point of the ending was like this guy couldn't escape his war, couldn't escape, the Godzilla attack when it went at the beginning, couldn't the guilt, the recrimination, right, the self-hatred brought about from that, and that's why he never hooked up with the woman that they ended up living together, is because his war wasn't over, right? And this was about him finding closure from that war, right? It's or at least nicely into 1954 moves of Lonnie. I didn't think about that, but I think you're right. I think you're absolutely right. So I found it a very powerful and very, very, very moving story. One that I think we here in Israel could certainly learn from, which is probably why we're not getting here in Israel. Right? I guess, again, from a theological point of view, I wish we could have a national conversation about what, if you believe in God, why would a God done October 7th? It's the same question as why would God do the Holocaust, right? We've been talking about that for 70 years. I wish we could have that conversation, but sadly not, right? I think it'd be better for us if we could. But again, I think this movie actually has real weight and worth, right? Real weight and worth. So, speaking of things with real weight and worth, Guy Ritchie. Guy Ritchie, bit hit and miss. Now, they're making a TV show out of The Gentleman, which I don't know. I've watched that a number of times, and it just doesn't really work for me, right? It doesn't really work. So that's going to be on Netflix, but he's got a new movie coming out. Let's have a look at that trailer. The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. Okay. Starring Henry Cavill. That's always a good sign. I don't need you to tell me when the trailer's starting. I just press play. I know that means it's starting.
Gus March Phillips, I have a mission I want you to lead. Thank you, Sergeant.
What's the plan?
To neutralize the German U-boats in the North Atlantic.
Right, based on true story, I can go for that.
We're losing the war. Hitler is not playing by the rules, so neither are we.
Well, was that Churchill? That was a terrible Churchill. Let's see, go look at that again.
So neither are we.
I hope that's not supposed to be Churchill. Man, that was awful.
We both know that I'm not very popular with the administration.
The reason they find you unattractive is the very reason I find you attractive.
This looks fun, right? This looks like he did Man from Uncle. He did? Wait a minute, I thought... Oh, no, I Spy I'm thinking of. I thought it was the woman from Hill Street Blues did Man from Uncle.
If I'm to do this, I'll need my own team. You won't like them. They're all... mad.
They'll need to be.
This...
Okay, Guy Ritchie and Jerry Bruckheimer is a good combination, right? It really is a good combination.
is an unsanctioned, unauthorized mission. If we fail, England will be condemned to a lifetime under the German boot.
And so I said, that is not a dog. That is my wife.
It's very good.
I think I probably prefer Inglourious Basterds, but looks pretty darn good.
You and your operation are reckless.
Henry Cavill is just like knocking out the park right now.
Abort this mission now.
Hello, can't hear you. Please do off.
Who's in there? Henry Golding, Alan Richardson, Isaac Gonzalez. Okay, Henry Cavill. Screenplay by Paul Townsend, Eric Johnson, and Guy Ritchie. Okay. I don't know. Honestly, that doesn't look like it's worth going to cinema to me, right? It doesn't look like it. Fine. We did that. What else do we need to get to? We've got a bunch of stuff to get to. Should we do... Okay, one second. Let me close some windows. Oh, this we totally need to talk about. Man, we're having a very non-Doctor Who day, but we will get to Doctor Who soon. This we totally need to talk about. So I thought this had been forgotten. Right, I thought this has just been like it was announced, but it just didn't hear anything for years and years and years, and apparently it's still happening. Right, Duncan Jones wrapped principal photography on 2008's Road Trooper movie. I didn't even know it started principal photography. Right, I love a bit of Road Trooper, and Duncan Jones, very hit and miss. David Bowie's son, very hit and miss. Right, he's done some really great movies. And he's done some Duncan Jones. Let's have a look. Duncan. When I say he's done some good movies, he's done at least one good movie, right? Let's have a look at his filmography. Whiz I didn't see. Moon is excellent. Source Code, I think, was excellent. That's the one Jake Gyllenhaal, right? Yeah, I thought that was excellent. Warcraft, disappointing, but like he did that for money. Mute was really, really disappointing. Mute was the one, it starred, had a great cast. Alexander Skarsgård, Paul Rudd, Justin Theroux, that was it. It was on Netflix. Noel Clark was in it. Florence Kasson. I don't know any of it, but it was really disappointing. It was really, really, really disappointing, right? So hasn't had a really great movie for a while, but man, he knows he knows what he's doing, right? He knows what he's doing. Fine. So this is again exciting Rogue Trooper movie. I mean, there should be more cinematic 2000 AD, honestly. Duncan Jones, Moon Source Code Witchcraft. I could have just looked at that. Fuck me. Eagerly anticipated movie adaptation of the classic British comic Rogue Trooper has wrapped principal photography in the UK. Written and directed by Jones, Rogue Trooper is an animated science fiction feature. Oh, it's animated. Oh, I'm a bit disappointed by that, really, now I think about it. From Rebellion. I mean, it's not a terrible way of going through it. Shot at Rebellion Film Studios in Oxfordshire. Breakout talent Anurin Bernard, who was in Dunkirk. Goldfinch, I don't know, and of course, is going to be in Doctor Who this year, I think. Stars as the eponymous Rogue Trooper alongside Hayley Atwell. Right, do you reckon she's playing Venus Blue Jeans? Okay, so if you don't know the story of Rogue Trooper, right? Rogue Trooper is this wisely blue. They are they're on this planet called New Earth, spelled N-U Earth, and he's part of the Southers, and they're fighting the evil Naut forces, right? So everyone's got to wear these big spacesuits outside because the planet's been destroyed by gas warfare. So they make these genetically engineered troopers, rogue troopers, right? GIs are called, genetic infantrymen, right? And they're much better than everything. So, and then on their first mission, they all get wiped out. Like every one of them gets wiped out apart from Rogue, right? It was some kind of trap. There was a traitor. And then his raison d'etre from most of the comic book was trying to find the traitor that betrayed them. So Rogue has 3 buddies. You see his helmet there, which has a 1 next to it. Inside each GI, genetic infantryman's brain, there's this little chip that puts their personality on, right? And you have 3 slots: 1 on your helm, 1 on your gun, and 1 on your backpack. So and he has banter with them essentially. But the where it didn't really work is that the name of the trooper that he put on his helmet was called Helm. Bit of luck. The name of the trooper biochip he put on his gun is called Gunner. And the name of the trooper he put on his backpack is Bad. That didn't really work. Other than that, it was fine. Anyway, so who's in it? Hayley Atwell, Jack Loudon, Daryl McCormack from don't know anything. Bad Sisters. Reese Shearsmith. Oh man, I bet he's a bad guy. I bet he's a Naut. He'll be a good Naut. Rounding out the cast is an incredible ensemble. Includes Jermaine Clement from Avatar 2. No, who cares? Matt Berry. Oh, Matt Berry's in it. Oh well, okay. Now that's just class, right? Sean Bean. He's got to be the traitor, right? He's got to be the traitor. And was it Diane Morgan? Kunk on Earth. Is that Kunk? Alice Lowe from Black Mirror, everyone's in Black Mirror, and Asa Butterfield from Hugo and Sex Education. Never watched Sex Education. Rogue Trooper tells the story of of 19. So they changed his name now. Tells the story of 19, a genetic infantryman who finds himself the sole survivor of an invasion force, desperate to track down the traitor who sold out his comrades. The super soldier is accompanied by 3 killed in action squad mates whose personalities have been stored in this gun, backpack, rucksack, and helmet. Filmmaker Duncan Jones says 2008 offers a very different flavor of action, of comic action, political and brutal at times, full of satire, right? Full of satire, but always with Python-esque twinkle in the eye. Dread 2012 was a taste of what 2008 had to offer, and now we get to show the world another side of the beast. Is a genuine privilege being given the opportunity to make Rogue Trooper. Treehouse Digital, the world, is creating imagery for the and the animation for the film, working with Jones, bringing to life Rogue Trooper from the concept up to final pixel using the Unreal Engine 5. Okay. Producer Stuart Fenigman says, advancement in the Unreal Engine 5 and the inclusion of meta-human rigs makes it now possible to achieve very high standards of animation within an indie budget. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing it. Working with our amazing partners at Rebellion, Epic, and Treehouse Digital, we are pioneering and developing a new creative pipeline with independent production of CG animated films. Well, that does sound very, very exciting. Well, it looks like it's all mocap, and it's probably a good way of making the Lost Stories. So, Rebellion CEO Jason Kingsley, who produced Rogue Trooper, added, "We are thrilled to be working with Duncan Jones, one of the fellow British creative visionaries of 2000 AD, fan with a global reach. Rogue Trooper highlights Rebellions." I wonder where it's going to be. Right? Is it brought to life on screen? Is it going to be on a streaming service? Dave Gibbons and by Dave Gibbons, Jerry Finley Day. Hope Dave Gibbons gets a good payday. Road Trip producer Scott Furman, Moon, Source Code, so he's worked with all the Duncan Jones movies. Jason Kingsley, Schools Out. Chris Kingsley, set to complete in 2025. Okay, let's have a look at Road Trooper film. In production. So is this the art we're going to see? Is this the style that we'll see for the movie? It looks pretty good, right? It looks pretty good. Yeah. So I know it's will it be woke as fuck or will it be good? I don't know, mate. I don't know. It's hard to tell. You can tell me. No, it's hard to tell. Fine. Moving on. Where are we up to? Let's look at this. Let's look at a bit of bi-regeneration bollocks, right? It feels weirdly full circle and like the universe has brought us together. This was just shit. I'm sorry. It was just shit. It was a bad idea that didn't really work. It was just shit with too much money spent on it, right? A really bad idea, right? A really genuinely bad idea. It's that failed, right? That really failed in most ways. I mean, like the whole idea of the David Tennant Doctor shooting. It seems to be an excuse to get shooting Gatwa without his knickers on, right? That's what it seems to be. And why would David be wearing two shirts, right? If Shooter's taking some of his clothes, why has David still got? He wore that shirt underneath his other shirt. I don't really understand. Is that an undershirt? I don't know. Fine, Benjamin Cook, douchebag extraordinaire narrates, right? Let's see what they got. Hi, Shooty and David. You're members of a very exclusive club. Only 14 actors have played the lead in this show. Well, I thought there was like 28 actors. Now, who are they, 17? But surprising number of you are Scottish. What makes Scots such great doctors? Shooty says, the madness, the chippiness. The chippiness? The chippiness. Hi, yeah, we're always up for adventure. Hey. Why is it? Though it's true, there's been a lot of Scottish doctors. It's been 3. There's been, well, David Tennant. He didn't play with Scottish, though. Yeah, Capaldi. And Tennant, but Tennant doesn't count as a Scottish doctor. I'm sorry. Sylvester McCoy. So 2 out of 13. Not a huge number, I guess. How many are saying there now? Because there's some extra ones join the gang. John Hurt, Joe Martin. John Hurt, yes. Joe Martin, no. He's such a woke fuck, David Tennant, isn't he? Which is the Scottish one? Sylvester McCoy, Peter Capaldi, David, and me. Oh, and also so 3 out of 14 then. We're punching above the. Okay, this is just stupid. What were your first impressions of one another? Had you met before the other week? I'm going to guess they're not going to say we hated each other and each other's a cunt, right? I'm going to make a wild stab in the dark, right? That they're going to be very complimentary about each other. What do you think? No, that was our first. We talked on the phone. Yes, we had. Yeah, yes. But we first met at the stunt rehearsal for the Toy Makers game of Catch 2 weeks ago. My first impression today was, oh, he's real. Okay. David starts to laugh. And then it was like, oh, his voice sounds just like on the telly. Okay. I couldn't believe it. Then and then Catherine Tate as well. It's like, oh, yeah, look. I think they were just thought, oh, well, everyone's going to be so happy to see Catherine Tate again and David Tennant. We can do any old bollocks, really. Let's make sure chicks with dicks get well represented, because nobody's going to mind because of David Tennant and Catherine Tate's on the screen. Didn't really work that well. Equally, By Generation did not work. The dumb idea. I think failed on every level. Really did. I really would say it failed on every level. You thought I was some mythological creature, says David. Over the sound of David guffawing. Yes, I can't be doing with this. Love this. Ha ha ha. Okay, let's just see the questions. Were you? I'm not. Were you nervous? Not reading that. Were you working with another doctor for the first time? Seems like fun. It is. I'm loving it. Me too. Of course. This is the first morning of the BAFTA Sunday, March 2022, when you were announced as a doctor. Was it? It feels so weirdly full circle, like the universe has put us together. And David reached out when I was announced. Okay, well, that's normal. Yeah, and instantly David was like, I don't know. I don't really have words to describe the experience, but this is magical. It just feels magical. It did. And then you guys kind of fucked it up. I'm sorry. Talking to the other doctors, we talking about David and Jodie Whittaker as well. Jodie Whittaker was never the doctor. I'm sorry, right? I know they called her the doctor. I know she was in the TARDIS. I know the BBC considered her the doctor. I know that she. Wait. Let's have a look at the new Doctor Who magazine. Comes out. We'll do x.com and then DWM tweets. There we go. DWM tweets. Yearbook now piss off. Wait, I thought they had a picture of it come out already. Didn't they have a picture of it out recently? Oh no. Maybe it's on Facebook. I don't know. Hang on. Let's look at. I will look at Facebook, right? I'll look at Facebook. Doctor Who magazine, I guess. Doctor Who magazine. Here we go. Because I saw the cover, but I thought that was on Twit. No, not there either. Weird. Here, maybe look over there. Do Doctor Who magazine? Maybe let's try BBC Doctor Who. Maybe it's on that. Oh, here we go. Fine, let me pull it up. Hang on. Issue 600. Oh, yeah, we'll just do it this way. Hang on. Share screen. Here it is. So, this looks like it was a huge pain in the ass. Look at all these copies of Doctor Who magazine. They're like scattered everywhere. Holy crap. That was a lot of work. That's a crazy amount of work. And I actually have all these copies. And then you had to clean. I mean, they go all the way in the back as well. Then you had to clean it up afterwards. That's a weird cover. Right? That is a weird cover. Jodie's in there, but I'm sure she is. They just can't quit it, right? They can't quit Jodie. Fine. Oh, Doctor, let me hug you so much. It's so Doctor Who-y. Fuck off. Oh, we're the bestest friends ever. It was sort of the part you feel proprietary about because it's all consumed. Okay, blah blah blah. Was that actually asking a question? Okay, David. Given that you and Jodie are pals, okay, did they make handing over to you easy? Do you think? Well, she didn't hand over. You know, she filmed her regeneration and then walked away, and they had no idea who the next Doctor was going to be because she had killed Dr. Bloody Who, right, by the time. Like, she had absolutely killed Doctor Who. So, like, it's not like they were in the same room at the time, was it? I think it did, which was really lovely because it is weird, that whole moving on thing. Oh, we were all ecstatic, right? We just thought we're moving on to something better, not differently awful. But again, 35 minutes of Doctor Who came out 4 hours, which I thought was quite good. But I thought was I'm okay to watch again, right? So it's not hard to feel like you're being displaced. Well, you were. I mean, I'm not suggesting that Jodie had feelings particularly vividly, but I hope because I'm a mate that slightly took the edge off. She was gone. She was totally finished with the role by the time you showed up. Right, I think maybe Chris Chibnall failing to the extent that the show was cancelled. Right, they couldn't find anybody to take it over, and then Russell Davies came along and said, "Oh, you know, David Tennant wants to do a few episodes. Would you like? Well, maybe that, and you could do a few more episodes afterwards, like maybe two or three years worth. Would you like that, David? Maybe." Russell actually was it, but I'm hoping because I'm a mate, took the edge off slightly. I was able to phone Jodie and say, "Listen, this is a laugh. Isn't this funny?" I'm sure you're friends with her, right? She was a massive incompetent. She was a massive failure in the role. I was one of the first people she called, and she got when she got cast. So it was lovely to be able to return the favor. Wait, so you broke the news to Jodie? At some point, she got a phone call from the next Doctor, and surprise, it turned out to be you. Yeah, she did. I have the call recorded. Do I want to hear it? What did you say? Basically, it's Jodie swearing. Yeah, I believe it. That's Jodie for you. No clue, right? No clue about how to conduct herself with the character. That's amazing. Jodie is everything. What? Jodie is saying, that's amazing. Jodie is everything. She paved the way. How? What, for shit Doctor Who? And I got a call from the two of you on BAFTA Day. Meant the world. Okay. Shooting yesterday, you had your first day on set. You're bounded with such confidence. How are you feeling inside? Pure terror. Okay. How is it? How do you feel to be back? David said, "I was terrified." Well, you had right to be. You were done, mate. This was not a good experiment, you coming back. I want to be clear. This was not a successful experiment, right? In any way, shape, or form. Not a successful experiment. One second. Tell me about bioregeneration then. What is it? How does it work? Nobody fucking knows. It's a way to make it probably separate it out for Disney. And bring back the old Doctors without having to explain why they look older. It stings a bit. Oh yes, haha! Ouch. We're all learning. I think shot by shot right now. Okay. 1 second. It's never been done before by generation. The Doctor regenerates into two, and it's shit. It was such a shit idea. Right, I mean, like, we've had a couple of months to sit with it, and you go, yeah, that was shit. That really was shit. It was a really awful idea. Selfishly, it's really nice to get to play the scene with another Doctor. That's quite rare. Well, everybody likes, multi-Doctor stories. But again, Russell's motivation was saying he wanted to do a multi-Doctor story with the next Doctor. So I still think he should have had a surprise revelation where he starts off with Shooter's Doctor, and then you have a parallel story showing how he got to the by generation. But does Shooter's Doctor know anything about the by generation? None of it makes sense. That's quite rare. But you've done it before with Matt Smith. Yeah, I did, and with John Hurt, although he was, that was the first time playing the Doctor. But it's still quite unusual, especially at the changeover moment. I mean, I never met Chris Eccleston when we swapped over. And when I hand over the map. We sort of said hi, and we had our photos taken together. Then I buggered off, and he got on with it. And even more recently, Jodie and I weren't in the same room. It was months later. It was like a year later, wasn't it? It was so nice to have this moment. A few days, they're actually played together. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it, mate. It was shit, including the bit where Shooty gets out the comedy mallet and makes another TARDIS. Oh God, I hate it. We can't notice you're sharing a costume. Yes, we are. It's totally not about Russell Lee Davis wanting to have Shooty run around in his knickers. Well, it's pissed you, Shooty, that you'll be doing your first episode in your underpants. Was an instant yes. You seem very okay. Yes, it was an instant yes. I mean, look, telling Shooty he's got to wear more clothes, it will be a no, right? Shooty likes to get his kit off, right? He's up for that. I'm definitely okay with it. Laughing, yeah, we know, darling, we know. We just need to look at my Instagram and see it's fine. Yeah, we know that your clothes challenge, right? Shooty's been working out. He isn't shy about showing off the results on Insta. Yeah, we know, Shooty. We understand. It was like not a problem here. So this is the new look, the new costume. We were thinking, where are they going to put the mic? Okay. So Anne Gaharad, who's the sound assistant, says, I think we can clip it to your boxers if you're happy to do that. Okay, yes. Yeah. Oh my God, this is boring. Going through much of the episode emotionally, he's really in a dark place. And then you get a moment of pure wonder and joy. It just didn't work. It didn't come off like this. It just came off as gay. That was really, it just came off as gay. All the hugging. Because look, this era is super duper gay. I hate to tell you this. To be fair, you spent most of your first episode in pajamas. Yeah. Doink. Let's have a look. But what is about this character, the Doctor, that appeals to you? The characteristics in which it drew you in? Well, finally, actually get to a question which is, somewhat relevant, which would tell us how he wants to play it. I feel very, very connected to the Doctor for a number of reasons. Well, what are they? But I think ultimately it's because the Doctor is hope. Fuck, I hate when I say Doctor is hope because they don't know what hope means. Hopeless, maybe. They see hope in everything. They fight for each life that they come across. Even Daleks, they will defend. Well, not defend, but, well, they said do have the right. See the best in, right? Yeah, well, maybe not the Daleks. I don't know. If I get to meet a Dalek, I don't know if I will. I might... heavily rumored being the season finale, but also heavily rumored there's no returning monsters. I might find out. It's just so beautiful that there's this show about aliens that teaches you so much about humanity. Well, that's the thing. I don't think I'm up for Russell Lee Davis teaching me things about humanity because I think a real central part of human existence, or of human existence, is marrying and having children, or like having a spouse and having children. I think that's really like it's your starting block in life and in growth, and I understand there's many people out there who well, I mean, everyone can get married now, but there's if you're gay, having kids is much harder. I agree with it, but like for the vast majority of people, the act of parenting is the key to understanding what humanity is. And if you haven't done that and you have no intention of doing that, and it's something that you wouldn't do in a million years, then I don't think you really understand it that well, right? And I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry to be like dismissive, but it's really, I think that's a really central thing. And it's always a triumph of intelligence over ignorance, says David. Well, not your era. The 14th, and compassion over thoughtlessness. Let me ask you, how is it encouraging children to sexually mutilate themselves compassionate? That just seems it's narcissistic, rather, right? And I understand you're very proud you have a kid who, let me get this straight. Let me get one thing straight. I'm not, right? It's not healthy. Right? It's not normal for 6-year-olds talking about their sexual preferences, right? It's much better when they're talking about watching Crackerjack, right? It's much better for them. But again, I think this is why the experience of parenting is very, very important to understand what humanity is, what the human condition is. Seeing the light in the dark and not judging others. You judge everybody. The doctor never judges. Well, Jodie's doctor certainly did, but they judge everybody. Oh, you're a fascist. Why? Because you don't think chicks have dicks. Oh, you're so cruel to the poor children who say chicks have dicks. You hurt their feelings. Yeah, unless you prove them wrong, someone's proven themselves to be guilty, they can display ruthlessness. Okay. You said earlier, David, that from the moment you're cast, people start talking to you about how you play the Doctor. But how do you both decide? Where do you start? I think it's really guided by the writing. Well, obviously, if the script says the Doctor smiles, that means he's smiling, right? You got Rusty Davis as Doctor Who showrunner who writing brilliant words. Well, they used to be able to. So that really does take quite a lot of pressure off. After all, it's the way that it occurs to you. I don't know how conscious any particular decisions really are, but really Russell's words kind of work through you. I would love to see Ncuti Gatwa and Jodie Whittaker film like scenes from like Pyramids of Mars. I think Ncuti can pull it off. Don't think Jodie could. Already got a lot to say. Yeah, it's all about I read the script, is what they're saying. There's an energy that runs through the character and runs through the whole script that you kind of sweeps you up, and you can't really do anything other than just let it in. The Doctor's not human, and so they're like a beautiful character that everyone can kind of place themselves into. It works because of what Russell has written and the energy. See, why do you want to have everybody place themselves inside the Doctor? I think that makes the Doctor more boring. You just got to chuck your own energy at it, blah, 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 blah. It is true. I hope that's... Is that true? I hope it's true. What is it? What's it? It just got to chuck your own energy at it, but it's also... it's one of the characters that there's not really a wrong way to play. Can I point you to Jodie Whittaker, who played it wrong in every freaking moment, right? Like every freaking moment. Every acting decision was wrong, including accepting the role. Oh, Icky Thump, I'll be Dr. Joffido. Oh, Icky Thump. You can only take scripts from any of the Doctors, and, there's a template of the Doctor that's fairly interchangeable. Again, I want to see Jodie Whittaker doing "Do I Have the Right" speech from Genesis of the Daleks. She can't pull it off. I don't mean in a reductive way. I don't know what I mean. I mean that hopefully each Doctor will become unique because they're played by a different person. Well, yeah, you've got to get a big personality to play it. That's why Tom Baker was cast pretty much instantly. All right, it becomes a channel through the prism of the actor who's playing it. I would say that if you try to make too many self-conscious decisions about the character, what the character is, it kind of gets in the way because you're letting your instincts... I mean, look, again, Jodie Whittaker's performance was nothing but clunk, right? Nothing but clunk. Because the Doctor's a bit anarchic and free, and the more you allow that, the more you can follow, you can allow it to play rather than the other way around. I think that's probably what it's most successful for me. That's good advice. Talking advice, David, any pointers for you on how to pilot the TARDIS? I haven't seen the new one yet. It's still being built. There's great excitement in the meeting, in meeting that console for the first time. But yeah, again, the TARDIS. Another example of way too much money spent for negative results, right? It really is. I'll be leaving detailed instructions. I'll be watching on TV expecting them to follow. Let's talk about you're both proper famous now. David Gannon, I don't know. Shooter's more famous than I am. Pish. Who cares? But it goes. But does Doctor Who hit? Does Doctor Who fame hit differently? There's a unique challenges to being known for a particular role. Well, it's a very cross-generational. Everybody's aware of it, from 5-year-olds to 95-year-olds. Not anymore, mate. Viewing figures through the toilet, and that makes that takes a bit of getting used to. That's what I'm discovering. You're already getting recognized as a doctor. Yeah, don't worry, that's going to die down soon. I think your era is not going to be very successful. I think it's going to be less successful than Jodie's. Look, unless you just hit a hard stop on all the gay shit. What was that? What's that great meme? I think I have it right here. 1 second. Yeah, here it is. Here it is. Share screen. Well-established franchise, Disney. Oh, come back here. Disney, gay shit, well-established franchise. Yeah. So much gay shit. So much Disney. Okay, where was it? Oh, yes. At OMG, on my way to Milan this past weekend for Milan Fashion Week, I was late as always, and a group of black kids. Why did you tell me the black? Why can't they be kids? Were there, and a bunch of like London black kids were there, and like, it's a doctor. Oh, this is Shooty speaking, not David. It was really nice actually that they were like, you should jump in TARDIS. I thought, oh, that's so lovely. That show has like ignited. They're not going to continue watching it. Like, if you don't make Doctor, here's the truth. People who like Doctor Who like Doctor Who. If you change what Doctor Who is, the people who like Doctor Who won't watch it, and the people you want to get to watch it won't watch it because they don't like Doctor Who. How do we know this? Look at Star Wars. Look at Marvel. Right? They made them female-oriented brands, and nobody watches them. Right? Because they're not the thing. But the people who like Star Wars and Marvel would watch them. Would watch Marvel if you hadn't chased them away with your bullshit. So it's very interesting level of fame. It's another level. I don't think there's anything like it because it's such an institution, and because you said it's a cross-generational, but there's an ownership to it. People feel, as they should, an ownership because it's something that belongs to all of us. So yeah, so can you keep your gay shit a little bit to yourself, mate? I'm talking to Rascal, really. So yeah, no, that's taking a bit of getting used to, but I like it. David Green, yeah, it feels nice. It's just very lovely. It's a real honor to be in the middle of that. Well, it is. And look, I have to tell you, while I rank on Shooty, and then you get that, I'm being reactionary. I am being reactionary, like, because I didn't like a lot of the specials, but last 35 minutes were good, right? And I find him very charming, right? I played this the other. Do I still have this? Did I get rid of it? It was Shooty Gatwa being really touched in the piece of fan art that he was given. Right, I think I got rid of it. That's a shame. That's a shame. Yeah, I must have got rid of it. Never mind. Well, you know, what can I do? But I find him charming. I'm open-minded to seeing what's going to come, right, in the next season. I'm not optimistic, but I am open-minded. And again, that last 35 minutes, as soon as he's on the roof, for me, it was great. Oh, Dan, how you doing, Dan? Thank you for joining us. Matthew Pounder is here. How you doing, Matthew Pounder? Who else we got in? Did I miss anybody? Whizzing back through the chat. Just having a quick whiz over the chat. Mr. Jekyll and Hyde is here. There we go. Mark Milford, I'm sure it's hello to you. That was very good. Richard's movies have a style of their own. That is true. I like his Sherlock Holmes movies. Right? I do like his Sherlock Holmes movies. I can't remember The Man from U.N.C.L.E. though. Really? Is that on Netflix or anything? I should give it a check out. I like Guy Ritchie. Fine. Okay. We go 2 hours 20 minutes. I'm gonna head on to the into the sunset, ladies and gentlemen. I will be back on Thursday at 5 o'clock. Tomorrow. I got so much bollocks to put out. Here, let me show you what I have on the slate. Right, coming up. By the way, yeah, this was Shooter's Instagram post about getting this piece of artwork. I just find him genuinely charming and like humble, right? Wrong one. I find him charming and genuinely humble, like honored to get the role, right? That doesn't feel like a smug, I've taken over smile. That feels like I'm brimming with excitement, right? At this opportunity. This feels like a smug, I've taken over smile, right? This is absolutely what that is, right? Speaking of smug taking over spas, why did I ever think for a second Adam Schiff wouldn't have been to Pedophile Island, right? Why would I F this? By the way, this is the decision-making process with pretty much any Disney show now, right? No, for teachers, sorry. Turn him gay, have sex with him in the parking lot. Fine. So, yeah, I got the Avengers reboot. We have to talk about this. I might combine this with the articles of fan discontent, right? This was from, I can't remember, somebody in the chat said, is modern Doctor Who really fan fiction? He made a very good argument, right? So we clipped that out. Capaldi's great, right? Though Unhinged won't melt down at the failure of She-Hulk. Started after years of sucking on the small screen. Why it's time for Star Trek Discovery and Michael Byrne to suck in the cinema. Imagine these crazy eyes on the big screen. Oh, we can't stop imagining it. Yes. I just had to wheel out that Barbara back again, right? The Barbara back was freaking awesome. And again, I'm so proud of this one. Who are you going to call? Well, I don't care if I got Ghost Star. I'm calling these two. Fine. With that, ladies and gentlemen, with that, I am wrapping up. Oh, I've got new comments at the bottom. Anybody new there? I am wrapping up. Have a good day, ladies and gentlemen. As I said, I'll be back on Thursday tomorrow. Who knows what dares to dream? What inhuman, evil content will be pouring out of my channel? You have to wait and see. Darling, I think the